Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ravi Singh and I'm going to help you understand great engineering concepts around us. For that, you just need to hit the subscribe button down below. This video, along with some more videos, is intended for discussing pressure in a detailed manner. So let us begin. First of all, let us consider that we are having a container inside which there is a gas. And since we know that gases are basically composed of large number of molecules, so inside this container actually there are a large number of molecules of this gas, and these large number of molecules inside this container are in random motion. And because of this random motion, they are going to collide with each other and with the walls of the container. These are the walls of this container. So these molecules will collide with each other as well as with the walls of the container because of this random motion. So that is pretty much clear. Now, it is the property of these gas molecules, like any other particle, these will possess the physical properties of mass, momentum, and energy. So let us consider about this momentum. The momentum is basically given by mass of this gas molecule. If I am considering the individual gas molecule, suppose this is a gas molecule inside this container, then the mass of this gas molecule multiplied by the velocity of this gas molecule inside this container, because these are in the random motion inside this container. So this is the momentum of this molecule, any one molecule. Now, since every molecule inside this container are in random motion and these are colliding with other molecules and with the walls of the container, so as a result of this collision, the momentum of, suppose I am taking this molecule, will obviously change because of the collision. And this change in momentum, suppose the initial velocity is v1 of this molecule, and after the collision either with the walls of the container or with any other molecule, the velocity changes to v2. Then this change in momentum, that is m into v1 minus v2, is basically manifested in terms of the force, which is perpendicular to the surface of collision. If it is colliding with this wall, then the force that this will impart as a result of change in its momentum is basically perpendicular to this surface. And when this force is divided by the area of collision, like suppose this is the wall of the container and this is the molecule and this is the area of collision. Suppose this is the area of collision, only this much. Then this small a, say dA, is basically, when divided by the force, say this is dF, like dF upon dA, is what is known as pressure. Now that was all about the pressure on a differential area of the wall of this container. Say this is any wall of this container. So this is dA, that is a differential area, and we have calculated the pressure on this differential area. But what if we want to calculate the pressure on any wall of the container? Say take for example this wall. Say I want to calculate the pressure on this wall of the container. Say within time delta t, that is from t1 to t2. Then obviously within this time interval, a lot of molecules will going to come and collide with this wall of the container because of the random motion of these molecules. So take for example, we are considering the time interval t1. Then at this time interval, say 4 molecules are here and colliding this wall of the container. And the mass of this molecule is dm1, this dm2, this dm3, and this dm4. And the change in linear momentum in the direction perpendicular to the wall of the container is, for this molecule is say v1 to v2, for this say v3 to v4, for this say v5 to v6, and for this say v7 to v8. Then the force at time t1 on this wall of the container is dm1 into v1 minus v2 plus dm2 into V3 minus V4 plus dm3 into V5 minus V6 plus dm4 into V7 minus V8. Now, why I am not considering the direction of this force? Because I have already made it clear that we are taking the change in linear momentum in the direction perpendicular to this wall of the container. That's why we need not to bother about the direction of the force. So the summation of this force at time t1, the summation of these all forces at time t1 basically gives us the force at time t1. Similarly, at time t1 plus dt, we will have some more molecules which is going to come, and as a result of that bombardment with this wall of the container, there will be a change in linear momentum of that molecule which is going to come at t1 plus dt, and that's why it will impart a force on this wall of the container. Similar phenomena will happen at t1 plus 2 dt, like that up to t2. So a lot of molecules are going to come and collide this wall of the container and impart a force on this wall of the container within time delta t. So when you're going to sum up all these forces within time delta t, say sum of all those forces in time delta t, that is from t1 to t2, is F. After doing the calculations like this from t1 to t2, then this force divided by the area of this container, or wall of this container, that is, say this area is A, then this will give us the pressure on this wall of the container within time delta t. So this is how actually the calculation of pressure is proceeded in this manner. But now for calculating this pressure, look at the consideration that we did. We have considered these 4 molecules at the beginning, and we have proceeded in this manner from T1 to T2. So that's what we did. But in actual, whenever we are having a gas inside a container, then the molecules which are going to collide with any wall of the container within a particular time, say delta t, is going to be very large. That is of the order of mole, which is 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 molecules. So this is a very huge number. See, the power is 10 raised to 23, and I've considered only 4 molecules, and that's why our calculation was not that rigorous. But in actual, when you are going to do the calculation for calculating the pressure within time delta t, then it will take a huge computational resource because of this huge number of molecules actually involved. This is not far from reality. Actually, this is the reality. Within a container, if there is a gas, then there will be a huge amount of molecules inside that container. So you have to calculate the force on this container by making this kind of calculation at these number of time. So this will take a huge amount of time, and if you are going to use a computer or some other kind of thing, then it will take a huge computational resource. Which is actually far from reality. That's why we are not using this kind of method to calculate the pressure. Rather, there are 2 approaches to look into the pressure. The first one is the microscopic approach, and the second one is the macroscopic approach. So let us look into these 2 approaches. So this is all about this video. Thank you. Also, for more exciting contents about science related stuffs in the form of news, videos or articles, don't forget to like our page Science Talk on Facebook, for which the link is given below.